Step one, you're going to take your piece of paper and we're going to give it a hot dog fold, which means we're taking the long end and bringing it over to the other long end. Crease it. Now we're going to be making a 3D paper mask, but we want to use as much of the paper as we can. So I would I want you guys to use a pencil to get started. I'm going to use a Sharpie so you can see me draw it. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to draw a large oval, and we're going to try to use a lot of the paper so we can make it nice and large. So I'm going to come down towards the bottom here. Now if it's a little, you could have a little bit of movement in there as far as your line, but mostly you're going to keep it very straight as you go. So you're just doing it on half of the paper. Okay. Make sure this is the folded side because we want it to be symmetrical. Next, you're going to cut that line out. Hold with your hand so it doesn't move, so you're cutting into that other sheet of paper equally. Take your time, do good quality cuts. Save these scraps because you might want to use these later on. Open it up and see what you've got. It should be a pretty large mask to get started here. Alright, for the eyes, the trick to this project is making everything symmetrical. That means that you're going to have it the same on both sides. So here's a little trick to get everything the same. The eyes, since there's two of them, we're going to have to do a fold like this and a cut where we have two separate pieces. So I fold it over the white paper, and we're going to kind of work together here today to make our eyes. And what we're going to do is we're going to do the shape of your eyes how you want. Okay? You could draw it on there, or you could just go ahead and cut it. Now, I'm just going to go ahead and do a normal eye. Okay. Now, I want it to be two pieces, so I don't need to go all the way over to the edge. So maybe I go like this, and like that. Okay. Cool thing is we put this off to the side, but the cool thing is that you get two. Okay, and what we can do from there is we can kind of play around with the location of it. We can turn them to do different things. Could even have them on the side there. I'm not going to glue it yet because I'm not sure what I want, and I don't know how it's going to look and where I want the location. So, you could just take a look. We probably wouldn't want to put them up there. And we want to make sure they're even. We wouldn't want to put them too far down. But that might be kind of look neat too if you want to go for that exaggeration there. I'm going to leave them kind of in the middle for now. Alright, the next thing you're going to do, we're going to work with the middle of the eye, the pupil of the eye. Okay, that's the part in your eye where it's black and then there might be some color around there. So let's start first of all by making the pupil the black dots. So I'm just going to fold in half and I'm going to cut out a fairly small circle. Put that off to the side. Got two. Place them on here. Okay. You can play around with where it's looking. Kind of like them a little bit more on the inside, but again, you can put them where you want. Just make sure they're symmetrical, so they're even. Now we're going to put a little color into our eyes. So kind of like what we did earlier in the year, like with the shape stacker. You're going to use that larger piece, and you're going to use this again, so make sure that you don't go just right in the middle. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one of these, so I fold it in half, and I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue it on one side here, kind of towards the side, and this will add a little color on my eye. So I glued that one down, And I'm going to cut just a little bit bigger, similar to those shape stackers we did earlier. And that should give us 2 orange pieces. One's going to be already glued. And we'll go like this. And we'll glue that one down on here. Now, save this because you're going to need that for later. Glue this down right on top there. Alright, so I'm not quite ready yet. There's a few more things that you can do. I like to put a little white glare on my eyes. So I'll take some of that little white paper, and this just kind of gives it a nice little look. I'll just cut off just a little bit, like a triangle it could be. And I'm going to take that little piece, and I'm going to glue it right on there. And it kind of gives that kind of sparkle in the eye. Just kind of brings it to another level of more realism in it. So just like that. And then you could glue that one down on top there. As you go. Now one more layer I think we want to put onto our works here. So I want to put just a little bit more of a shape around the eye. So I'm going to make sure I glue these down next. Put this probably right in here. And I'm going to do one more level around the white one. So I'm going to take one of these, and I could do orange again, or I could take my other color and kind of play around with that. And kind of like we did the shape stacker, and glue it down. Making doubles here we have to. So this one may be a little bit bigger, or you can play around with what you do with this one. It doesn't have to be exactly the same there. You could kind of make it look like that. You got your 2. Now we're getting into some really cool details here. I like that. One thing you got to watch out, make sure it's even. And I think yes, that looks symmetrical about right there. Okay. So I think that's all the layers I really want to do for my eyes. And next we're going to get into like eyebrows and nose and mouth and all the other details. Alright, for the nose. Pick out one of your colors. You could use, the same scrap, or you could use, like this one here. Now the nose is just one, but it's symmetrical down the middle. So I'm going to be doing a cut that kind of comes over and up here. So, it's really up to you how you make the nose, but I'm going to go over and then up. Almost like kind of like a triangle. And the cool thing is, I always make it bigger. So if I want to change the size on it, then I can cut a little off of it. So I want that a little bit smaller. And, I could cut here. Just a little bit more off right here. Okay? So really it's up to you and how you want your nose to look. And I'm putting it on there now. Sometimes I like to have it come up a little bit. So to do that, you can kind of fold the ends up a little bit. So it becomes more of a 3D nose, which kind of makes it look really neat. So come up just a little bit here and right there. Kind of give it some feet on the side there. And just a little fold. It doesn't take much, but I really like that. Yeah, I like how it's sticks out a little bit. Makes it more 3-dimensional. Glue's going to go on the edges here. Okay. And then I'll place this down here. And right over here to get a 3D nose. Okay. I haven't put the eyes on yet, so I'm going to still play around with where I put those. Maybe I'll make it a little funny looking, put it a little bit closer down here. Okay. For the mouth, I'm going to do 2 layers. So I'm going to start with my first color here, and I want it to be symmetrical, but it's going to be one piece. So I need to make sure I use the folded edge, and I'm going to cut out here. I'm going to do 2 layers, so I'm going to start with black, and then I'll do kind of like the outer edge around it. So I'm just going to go ahead and do a mouth shape, how you want. Start over here, and then maybe come back. I'll kind of see what it is and what it looks like. So open that up, put that here, there on there. That looks kind of cool. So later on at the end, you could put like some teeth on there if you want to show with some white pieces. You know, just make sure it's symmetrical. But I'm going to do kind of like the lips or the outer edge. You know, and you could use any color for that. What I might do here is I'll put it right on the edge here. And I'm actually going to cut just a little bit bigger around it, and we'll see how that turns out for the lips. Alright, kind of like how it's looking. It's got similar colors. I'm not using too many crazy colors, and keeping it all consistent. And now I could glue that one down. After that, there's some really cool things you could do. You could do like I was trying out some different things with, you know, eyelids. This was kind of a piece I just cut out. Had 2 of them, but you could make little slits here. You could put stuff up there. Make sure it's symmetrical. You could do spirals around here. You know, any of the scraps you have, you could try out, you know, different shapes and put them on there. You know, whatever you do, just make sure it's symmetrical and it will look good. You could do ears sticking out. You don't have to do ears. Eyebrows are good. A lot of details. And then before we end up here, I'm going to show you how to do some hair as well. So you could take strips of paper. You cut them. You could wind it around a pencil. This is kind of, or pencil or pen. Marker. Pencils probably work the best. And I usually go like that, and you just kind of pull it out, and you can do hair on the sides. Okay, a bunch of hair around the top here. It's really up to you at this point. Again, symmetrical mask. We're trying to make it even on each side. All right, guys, good luck with your work. Can't wait to see how they turn out.